Well, hey, everybody, what's going on? This is your man, Martin Anaya, and you are watching The Breakdown. This is the show about all things film and filmmaking. We call it The Breakdown because just like you have to break down a script to build a movie, we're going to break down the how-to of how to build and how to make movies and all that good stuff. So thank you for joining us and going on the cruise with us here tonight. Right now it's an interesting thing. The California Film Foundation, as you know, puts on many film festivals, and we're kind of twixt and tween, so to speak, the film festivals that are normally going on at this time of the year. And what I mean by that is, we just finished the summer Sacramento Film Festival, and we're getting ready to go into a thing called Cine Latino. Now, for those of you that don't know, Cine Latino in November is our salute to Latino filmmaking and to Latino culture. So for those of you who are interested, this thing is coming up very soon. It'll be November, I think it's 4, 5, and 6, if the calendar serves me right. It might be 3, 4, and 5. Maybe I need to look at that a little more carefully, but it is coming up. And to get all the details and get the exact dates and the show times and all that, you want to go to that website right down there. It's californiafilm.net. Now, tonight we're going to be talking to a gentleman named Ethan Eskilson. And we've had Ethan on before. Some of you that have been watching the show once or twice before may have actually seen him. Ethan has the distinction of having now twice. He's getting into a rarefied air, a very select club, twice winning the 48-hour film festival, which we call 48 Hours Sacramento and interchangeably 48 Hours California. So that's not a simple little feat. So I just want you guys to know that there are some techniques involved, right? So we're going to talk a little bit to Ethan about his technique. He's pretty much an easygoing dude, so he may not be as type A as you would expect for somebody that's a 2-time winner of a film program. But I got to tell you, we're very, very excited nonetheless, and think that he's going to have some, hopefully, some little nuggets of wisdom for you. Now, in our summer session of the Sacramento Film Festival, we had a movie called Unfix by a local NorCal filmmaker named Graham Streeter. And Graham is winning festival after festival after festival. You're going to want to catch this movie Unfixed at a festival near you. I'm going to go ahead and play the trailer for the movie right now because we're just so excited about what Graham's been able to do and how many festivals he's literally won since, by the way, winning his hometown festival, the Sacramento International Film Festival. So we're going to play this trailer. On the other side, I'm going to come right back and we're going to talk about how to make and possibly how to even win at the 48-hour film program. Stay right there. We'll be right back.
I recently had a relative contact me, and he urged I find my authentic self, or warned I would never be happy.
What do you think he was referring to when he said never be happy?
Well, for one, he was a closeted homosexual.
Do I have permission to touch your forearms?
He's a good kid. Just give him a chance, all right?
Hey. Yeah, I'm here. Wait, who's at the cafe?
I offered them a place to stay. This is Ari.
Hey, hold on,
this is John and Max.
Yeah, we're gonna
They've
go.
already agreed to a strict lockdown quarantine, okay? Distancing, mask, sanitizer, the works.
You need to tell him. Or I will. We agreed this would be confidential.
I know.
What is your fucking deal, huh?
You have to either act on it or move on already.
Maggie. The Wallenmeyer family and the son, they can all rot in hell.
Oh, what? No big cash savings?
Oh, just stop.
What did they say? He's a fucking hustler. He had no intention of paying you back. You believe me now?
I don't know.
No one's ever helped me out of a panic attack like that before.
I don't understand what you're talking
Just
about.
how fucking long have you been seeing him?
There's one person on this fucking planet who knows you. It's me.
Every woman's ideal man is a gay guy fixed by good old-fashioned conversion therapy, so...
My God, your father is dead!
$80,000 in therapy debt, and that's the best you got?
Every time I see that trailer, I get chills, man. And again, Graham Streeter, the filmmaker, hails from Sacramento. He actually brought the movie to Sac, and some of those actors that you saw on screen there, a couple of the young actors, the protagonists, and one of the younger gentlemen that you saw came to the film festival, and shared with us their technique. Very, very excited for this production and this film crew because, to be honest with you, they're just going gangbusters right now. So watch for it. It's called Unfix, coming to a festival near you hopefully soon. And if not, it'll be out on streaming soon enough, and you're going to want to go get that. All right. So without further ado, again, if you just tuned in, you're watching The Breakdown. Again, my name is Marty Anaya. This is a show about all things film. And today we're talking about the 48-hour film festival. And I got a guy here that I'm going to bring on here named Ethan Eskilson, who's actually won this thing not once, but twice. Ethan, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, doing good. How you doing, Marty?
I can't complain. I just in awe of you 48-hour filmmakers. Really, anybody that has the temerity, the gall to make a movie and then show it off to other people. But in your case, what keeps you coming back? You've done a few of these now, haven't you? How many of these have you participated in?
3. Yeah. The 48s are great, man. I feel like that's my sweet spot. Like, it's just like, for me, I'm such a I'm somebody who just like kind of gets in my own way and like just gets, just like stumbles on things as I'm trying to get them done. And the 48-hour is awesome because there's no space for like, it's like there's no time to like rethink things. You just got to go for it.
Yeah, well, no, I guess I can understand that.
Yeah.
Well, if you don't mind, tell me a little bit about your background, specifically in filmmaking. When did you start getting into filmmaking?
I like played around as a kid a little bit with like the home VHS camcorder and made, some movie when I was like in 6th grade called Killer Kyle from Outer Space. But then I really kind of fell off of it. I didn't come back to it until my like late 20s. And then just kind of started playing around, a little bit here, a little bit there. And then in COVID, I've just gotten way more into it and finally like, started to meet people and do stuff like this, participate in this kind of stuff, help other people with their projects. So now I'm really in it. Now I'm like living the thing where I'm all, oh, cool. Now my friends are filmmakers and it all started with the 48 just a few years ago.
That's wild to me because I don't know. I guess maybe I'd kind of built my own little backstory for you. So did you have formal training? Did you go to school or?
No. Yeah, no, I like my day job. I work for the state. And so this is just kind of like, for me, it's like the film stuff is just like it's like a side hobby, like, thing I like to do. But yeah, no film school or anything like that.
And what about any kind of other storytelling or anything like that? I mean, because it seems like you've got some really fantastic stories. In fact, I'll tell you what, as a lead into that question, do you mind telling us about the film that just won this 2023 edition?
Yeah, for sure. The film this year was 35 in Dog Years, and it was a movie about my dog. I got the mockumentary genre, and I had been like, in a 48, you got a few things up your sleeve, like, oh, maybe I could do this. And I had this thing where I was like, oh, it'd be fun to do a movie about my dog, and then have somebody do like a voiceover, have like a woman do like a voiceover or something and give her like her own voice, her own character. And so this movie is like that. It's like, it's my dog kind of talking to you, kind of giving you the lowdown. But then it just kind of became like my dog just happens to be like old and at the end of her life, really, or, she's, I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that, I offend her.
I'm
But
just laughing because I just
Well,
remember what you're
and,
telling
and
me.
so it, and so it became like more about like a dog at the end of her life, and it
Yeah.
became kind of more emotional. But
Well, that's what I'm saying.
what
It's like
48
you're telling me.
is you just get out of your own way in the 48, and then those things just like come out, and that's the best.
Yeah, because I gotta tell you, man, this film when you watch it, I mean, obviously you do have a senior pup in the movie, and she's definitely perhaps lived more years than she's gonna live. And I think we can all kind of relate to that. Anybody that's ever had pets can relate to that. But that VO, man, that was like, oh man, that got me. She was like, today's kind of a good day, but there's been better days. And I'm like, oh man. I mean, it was like, your emotions pour out because you just feel for this little doggy. I mean, was that kind of it sounds like what you're telling me is that was a little bit more of an organic process about how it came together?
Yep. Yep. I think my intention probably was to, yeah, I think I probably would have been a little lighter with it. And then it just kind of became, what it became. And I also had the lady, Cheryl Klein, who did the voiceover work. She recorded some other stuff too. So it was maybe there was kind of some other aspects of it that were initially done. And then it got kind of like, whittled down to what it is now. So, how it is that they kind of take shape on their own a little bit. But it was cool because, with this, it's about my dog. So I was really able to like, even though I was talking in her voice, I was able to definitely, it felt like it came from a place of truth. And that for me is something new in filmmaking.
Mhm.
And it kind of like, I was like, that's cool. Like there's something to that I now kind of want to like chase that feeling.
I gotta say, I think that's the winning ingredient. I mean, really, because I've had, I mean, no names being mentioned, but I've had quote unquote professional filmmakers that have not won these contests, and then they sometimes have gotten mad and been like, how come I didn't win? I'm the pro here, and it's like, well, because some other filmmaker got somebody up in their feels. You know what I mean? Got somebody to feel some type of way, and that's the thing, man. That's the secret sauce. If you can get people to forget about the filmmaking and make them make believe that what they're watching is something that they can now just get lost in. Not necessarily that I have to believe every shot or whatever, but just that I'm losing myself in the story. And especially if you can tug at those heartstrings, which your movie did. And it's funny to hear you tell me about how it came together, because I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, man, he wrote all this out, and it was really he poured his heart out into this movie, but it seems like some of it is, I don't want to say happenstance, but kind of a happy kind of coincidences. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, it was all written. The script, like the words were, the words were all written. There was just more to it, Yeah,
For
I think
sure.
I think I recorded it I think I maybe had her being like interviewed, and then very quickly was like, oh no, she can just talk. Like, cause my friend did such a nice, like her voice just sounded so great. I was like, oh, this is great. And you never know, like, how that stuff is. Like I could have gotten that voice track back and been like, oh, well, all right, but I took her voice, Marty, and that's actually her voice at 110%. Just a little bit faster than her normal, and it just gave like a little like bubblegum like sweetness to it.
I can see that. Yeah, it had a little sweetness to it. Those are the little techniques. Well, speaking of techniques, let me ask you this. Now that you've done this a few times, because what we're telling people is how to make a 48-hour film. What are some of the techniques that you feel like, or the preparations perhaps, that you feel like are absolutely necessary if you're going to have a good experience and actually just finish a movie, let alone try to win one, but just finishing one?
Yeah, I think it's key to like know who you're using and like have a location. So if it's just you and you're shooting it in your living room, cool. And that, going into like the Friday night meeting, it's just going to be me. I'm going to be shooting it in my living room. I don't have any actors. Or, whatever the case may be. Like if you're like, okay, I've got my buddy, he's going to do the camera, and then I have my two friends coming in to be my actors, then you have that. So that whatever happens on Friday night, when you're given these things you have to like incorporate into your movie, you can use that thing, you know, your people that you have lined up as your baseline. And I think if you don't have that, like going into Friday night, I feel like that's where, oh man, you know, I don't know. But on like with Bella, I had just finished with the Bella movie. I had just finished making a movie with Trevor Harris, who also had a movie in the 48 hour, but we had worked on a short of his that was kind of a bigger shoot. Mm-hmm. And then we were both going to make 48-hour movies. And I was like, I want to make this completely alone. You know, I need some me time. And so that was my intent on Friday night. I knew, I was like, I'm going to make something, but it's going to be really small scale, you know?
Yeah. And intimate. Yeah. Well, so you got a plan going in, and obviously to execute on the plan. And I think that the intimacy thing actually helps, because obviously the 48, you're limited on time. I mean, time's your enemy. One thing I do have to tell folks, though, is that not every 48-hour film festival is exactly the same. In fact, the original 48-hour film festival, where we get our namesake from, I happen to know those guys. And literally, I don't know how they originally started, but when I first came into the knowledge, and these guys are all from LA, and many of them are very seasoned filmmakers. They work on big projects during the day, and this is kind of what they do to come together as, you know, a little hobby and a fun thing to do, and just kind of like breaking bread with friends kind of a thing. But in their case, they actually literally just go, hey, yeah, go make a movie and then submit it to us. There's not a lot of the stuff that we put on there to make people kind of adhere to a certain number of rules. And it's just more like a kind of a gentleman's, you know, kind of Scouts honor type of deal. And there are different festivals that run differently. So, for example, in our case, we encourage you to do all the screenwriting, all the pre-prep, all the pre-production, casting, whatever you want to do. But the filming has got to start, and filming and editing, obviously, within those 48 hours. And then there are a certain little kind of things that we'll give you. Do you remember what the elements were that you had to have in this last one?
Yeah. There was the line about something about cocooning. You know, that was the line of dialogue. We had to show a candelabra, and there had to be a character named Gizmo. And then Gremlins was the theme, and everybody got a genre.
Yeah. Gremlins was the theme, because the idea originally was that we were going to do a Gremlins screening with a friend of ours and bring the star in, but then the actor strike happened. So We're still waiting to do the Gremlins screening. That might happen. Hopefully, they're going to start talking. I mean, as we're shooting this now, folks, if you're looking at this in the future, you're watching something that's happening in October of 2023. And as of this moment, the writer's strike has been resolved, but we're still in the middle of an actor's strike. So but yeah, I mean, each year we try to get some sort of a theme going, and then some sort of, elements that got to be in the movie. And that kind of, it serves a couple purposes. One is that it demonstrates that they did shoot this in 48 hours, because nobody knows what these themes are going to be ahead of time. But beyond that, it also serves as, I guess, some kind of storytelling devices. I don't know how did you use the different kind of themes this year, or the different devices this year?
Yeah, what did I do? I like, Bella refers to herself as a bunch of nicknames, you know, like you'd have a bunch of nicknames for your dog. And that's where I used like Gizmo. And then I showed a candelabra. I think I just like flashed to a picture of one when she's talking about being a certain age, as if it's like, you know, her birthday or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
And then the line of dialogue, I just worked it into something she was saying about me getting fat. You know, like,
it's always fun to watch
about me, like,
yeah, it's always fun to watch that. And sometimes it actually does serve the storytelling, you know, like we put these gimmicks in there that are intended, like I said, to make to know that the film was shot in 48 hours because they wouldn't know ahead of time what the gimmicks were going to be. But believe it or not, it actually sometimes serves the storytelling. So, other tips and tricks that you learned along the way that we can maybe glean from, and when I play this back to future 48 hours,
Tips and
would
tricks.
be filmmakers.
Tips and tricks, I don't know, keep it simple. I think with the 48, like, if you can go small scale, if you can go limited locations, if you can limit your shooting to like Saturday morning, maybe done at like 3. So you're home watching footage Saturday night and then you're editing on Sunday, just not biting off more than you can chew. Just keep it simple. It doesn't have to be knock it out of the park or anything like that. And can use your phone. I use my phone on 35 and dog years. Like it doesn't have to be.
What did you use your phone for?
What's that?
Did you use your phone for the whole shoot, or what did you use it for? Certain shots?
It's all of 35 and dog years. Yeah, all those shots on like the gimbal that are following us around. Those were all. That was all my iPhone on like cinematic mode. So yeah, and then just cut in with a bunch of footage from my iPhone from the stuff that was like more older stuff.
Yeah.
But keep it simple. I mean, if you have a Black Magic, use your Black Magic, but it's like that's something is shooting like camera ready, on the 48. Like I could see a lot of people going, "Oh, I'm going to color correct. I'm going to do this." And it's like, there's only so much time,
Yeah, good point.
If you're a hot shot, like, you can.
Well, I've seen it go that route. I've seen it where we had one year where a guy actually had 3 units, believe it or not, of principal photography, and then he had 2 units of editing. But the guy was from the TV station, and he had all those resources at his disposal. Cool. And of course, he ended up winning because he also had a great story. He didn't just have great visuals and great, post, but he had a great story. But yeah, look. I mean, let's say you want to do a dolly shot, or you want to do, kind of a what would be maybe a something that you're going to put on a crane or whatever. But if you're not going that high, I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
yeah.
I do it all the time, and I don't always tell people when I shoot on my cell phone and when I don't, because a lot of times I'm integrating it. But golly, man, nowadays I agree with you. If you can put like something small on a rig and on wheels, and like in your case, you're following your dog around and stuff like that, then I mean, more's the better.
Yeah.
What's in the future for you, man? What do you want to do? What do you want to do coming up? Are you going to just keep it to the 48s, or you gotta
I make other shorts, and I have some other content on my YouTube page. Please like and subscribe at Ethan Eskilson.
At Ethan Eskilson. Got it.
Yeah. I have a bunch of stuff there. And then I have some shorts that I have one that's kind of being workshopped right now, like with a group of friends. And I hope to make that soon. I've been putting off a lot of those kind of projects lately just because of my dog, like kind of going, all right, well, I can't take off for 6 hours and do the things I normally do, but I'll definitely be at the next 48. That's for sure. I love these contests, man. These like keep me afloat. So, I'll be psyched for that. And I honestly, I've told some other people, like, I've been like, man, I would do this like quarterly. I would do this monthly.
It's fun.
For me are cool. Yeah. And then I could only imagine if I did 48s like more, that you're just even more willing to just like take crazy chances and
sure.
Whatever, yeah. Be really cool.
Well, I mean, and a lot of people, I mean, I've had a lot of filmmakers, they'll do it once and they go, I'm not doing that again. And I'm like, why? And a lot of times I think it has to do with the suddenness of it and everything having to come together right at once. And I feel that if you keep it manageable and you keep it, like you said, intimate and kind of the scope of it isn't too big, you can do it. In fact, I think in a way it's kind of, I'm going out on a limb here, but maybe you can back me up on this, kind of liberating. because then you can just focus on the storytelling and getting that right, and not so much on all the other things that frankly can trip filmmakers up.
Yeah, yeah, that's the truth. The storytelling, I think that's big. It's like, that probably does makes more of a difference than anything else. It's like, are you telling a nice little story? And like the 48, it's just a short little movie, but it's like you tell a nice little, nice little story, and that's so much more important than any of the technical stuff and
100%, man. Well, listen, you did such a great job. I got to tell you, you already know, but at this particular contest, the winner of the contest gets $1,000. And so we have not delivered that $1,000 to you yet, but that's coming into your inbox tonight. So you'll get it tonight. Yay. Also, too, I want to tell folks at home, if you're watching and you want to participate in the future ones, feel free, californiafilm.net. But I also want to tell you at home, we got more stuff coming up with this film festival in December. We're going to have a screenwriting program there, so you'll get to learn a lot about screenwriting and about how to kind of craft a story that people are going to want to pay attention to, whether or not it's a 48-hour film or your next feature. So very excited. Ethan, thank you for sharing some of your experience and what it's been like for you. And you're such an easygoing dude that it's like, I feel like that too could be infectious too. Somebody isn't so like verklempt about the whole thing, then maybe they can maybe that's freeing.
Yeah, but I'm still a mess though when I'm doing that stuff. So
Right on. Well, you hide it well, brother. You hide it well.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I really appreciate it, Marty. Appreciate all you guys do.
Thank you, brother. And again, hopefully we'll see you again in the very near future. And folks at home, hopefully we'll see you in the very near future again. This particular show is one of several that we do that help to educate and hopefully enlighten filmmakers and people that just like to watch the BTS footage of how to make movies. Folks at home, thank you so very much for being here. On behalf of Ethan Eskilson, I'm Marty Anaya. This has been The Breakdown. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.